Matt gets caught playing some bad reset defense in this clip. And what I see from Matt here is that he's just chasing his guy. So he's just going through the motions of playing defense here. And I know that's a feedback that a lot of players get from coaches over the course of their career. Like you'll often hear a coach tell a player, you're just chasing on defense. And it's hard to understand what that means. It basically means you're not doing the pre-work that Levi Doman talks about, the pre-work of like getting yourself to a position so that you're ready to defend, hustling to that spot so that you're setting yourself up to be in position to defend. Instead, you're just kind of chasing your guy around, just jogging next to them. And that's exactly what we see from Matt here. So Matt's right up here, and you can kind of just see him jog. He just kind of jogs along with his guy. And then his guy goes and gets set up to attack, and Matt doesn't do any of the pre-work necessary to get himself ready to defend. So in this moment, this is kind of the killer screenshot right here from Matt. So the upline is going to look like this. So I think Matt has a few choices. He could like have tried to get into this position that many of us seem to like, and then he says, okay, you're not going to beat me on my right hip, and I'm going to just like battle you along my left hip, and I'm going to push you and try to stick you along this line. I do think Matt has another option. Most of you tend to like not be too interested in it, but Matt could go on top of this line, and then he could try to, don't get beat to his left hip and get. In this situation, he would not get beat to his left hip, and he would be battling with his right hip along this line. And the goal of like staying on top of this line is eventually you're trying to compress their line in towards the thrower. You're trying to make this up line as small as possible so that you can like be pressuring this. I wanted gold so that you can be pressuring this white line down and compressing their up line down into the thrower and making it a very small up line. So those are like the one or two options, right? You can either get under the white line here, or you can get on top of the white line. If you're under the white line, you're trying to push it deep. Right? If you're under the white line, you're going to try to push it deep into the crowded space. You're trying to disconnect your thrower from your cutter by making it deeper than they're used to. If you're on top of the white line, you're trying to push the cutter into the thrower. You're trying to make this up line as small as possible. You're trying to shuffle them into the phone booth here, and you're just trying to compress your reset cutter into the thrower. So those are your two options, but Matt's doing neither of them. And what you just see here is that since Matt hasn't done any of the pre-work, he just gets blown right by, and this becomes a super easy touch, and then this easy touch leads to a huck. So a good example of like a crystal clear example of what does it mean to just be chasing on defense, and also hopefully highlight the value of doing the pre-work to get yourself into a spot so that you can defend. We've seen a lot of reset defense that was unsuccessful. This is a very successful clip from Gabriel Yacht. So let's just try to think about it really quick. We've got Akos on the mark, and Akos is kind of flat. He's also kind of backhand. So he is giving Gabriel Yacht help defensive leverage over here. So that means Gabe can think to himself, all right, I've got Akos' support in this space. I can try to press. I can try to press into here, and we can try to work together to force UChicago through this white space here. So Akos gives like a flat, pretty aggressive mark. He's working really hard. Gabe sees that, and Gabe just says, I'm going to take that opportunity to like slowly press down and down. And this is a really good jump from Gabe, and it makes sense and schematically because you got Akos there supporting you. It makes sense to try to jump in the around, and Gabe ends up getting the block. So I know I've made the point in a few clips about like you get burned jumping arounds that you shouldn't be jumping. Here's an example of an around that you should be jumping, and the reason Gabe knows he should be jumping that is because of the mark that Akos is giving him, which supports Gabe on the backside of jumping that around. Hopefully you're getting sick of these attacking the back clips. So here we're just going to see the ball go in, and Gabriel Yacht's going to set his guy up with a little horizontal move. So let's draw it all out so we can all see it. So we're all looking at the same thing. What's Gabe going to do? He's going to make a horizontal move. That's going to get his defender turning his hips this way. When his defender turns his hips, Gabe's going to attack the back. That's going to make his defender really freak out, and then Gabe is going to go just collect a very easy under. So horizontal move gets your guy turning their hips, which is what you can see right here. The turning of the hips is what allows Gabe to attack the back, which you can see right here. Attacking the back caused defenders to panic. Boom. Now we've got separation and steps. Bang. So this is just a great clip of the value of setting your guy up horizontally, attacking their back, and creating easy undercuts for your throwers to throw to. We get into our break side cutting tree over here, and it's just a good example of that. So we swing the ball over to Evan Snyder, and we've got a flat mark. So we see that flat mark, and we know we're cutting against a flat mark, which means we got to be thinking slash, slash, slash. At the end of slashes are butterflies. So that's what Levi Dolman is doing. He has already slashed, and now he's butterflying. Butterflying attacks the end zone, gives Evan Snyder something to think about, and also clears the stage for whoever's next. And in this example, Sora takes it. I think generally we would be thinking Joe Lodahl should be going first so that he could slash across, but Sora takes it here, which is fine because we get it. Nice break throw and hit to the slash from Evan Snyder, and then Akos sets it up, and Sora is able to throw a nice early soft and flat throw to Akos and hit the next slash. So here's a great example of us just connecting on 2 slashes in a row, flipping the field, and getting ready to attack the end zone.